Evening people, evening, welcome back to the channel. We are live back tonight for round 6 of MRCs GTTCC. This is the Fusion Lobby or the Fusion League out of the GTTCC, Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. We are live for 2 races tonight. You've just seen the maps on screen. We are live. First race from Lago Maggiore, 15-minute qualifier here first, then into a 30-minute race. False start and grid start applied for that one. And then we jump into race 2, reverse grid, 30-minute race for that one as well. We jump into points then. Hirokram leading the way, 197 points. Fat Pickles behind him with 143 points in second. Mocking Weeks third with 113 points. Edwin just a point behind him with 112. It says joint third on there, but that's not right. He's fourth. Fabuki is in fifth with 109 points. Sixth for P-Gib with 95 points. Nip and His Heels is Faithless Emo in seventh with 94 points. Dylan in eighth with 66 points. Then these aren't right. Something's going wrong here. Manny's in ninth with 89 points. I don't know. You tell me. Donkey Chong in 10th with 75 points. I'm not quite sure where Dylan slots into all that with his 66. EKS Battersby in 11th. Oh, with so many points. Apologies, we're going to miss that. I need to speed the chatting up over that bit, don't I? I don't have a pause function on that, unfortunately, so it is what it is. We've missed those last couple of scores. Merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers. I've still got those large T-shirts left. If anyone wants any of those, hit me up, darksmoker@googlemail.com. And right, out of there, into the lobby. So if you're watching for any length of time, please, if you do watch tonight, just drop a comment in the chat. Does it look better than it did in previous? Is it smoother, cleaner? I've played with the settings of the Streamlabs. Hopefully it comes through a little bit cleaner than what it has been coming through at. I just noticed it looked a bit glitchy, a bit you know, pixelated on some of the streams, so I've tried to change some settings, obviously following YouTube advice, which is probably going to send it all wrong, but hopefully it gets a little bit better for you lot. We'll see. We'll see. Right, in the room then we have Hirokram, we have Fabuki, Donkey Chong, we've got P-Gib, Dylan, Fat Pickles Bro, P1 Don, Faithless Emo and Mockin Weeks. So only 9 drivers on track. 2 tracks I actually like. Lago Maggiore, this particular layout, this particular way round, really, really good circuit. And Alsace as well I quite like. Both tricky circuits, some off-camber turns, some very fast sections on both tracks, coming into very, very tight corners as well, so could get a little bit wayward for some of these drivers, especially the rear wheel drives coming out of some of these turns, but we'll see how they get on. All right, let me turn the sound on so you can actually hear it, and let's get ourselves into this qualifying session then. Turn some nonsense on. Oh, absolute perfect timing. We will stick on board with Hirokram. Hopefully we get to see a lap. So on to the start-finish straight then, crossing the line now, down towards turn 1. Track tightens up as well, 90-degree left-hander into a right-hand hairpin. So you're having to use all the track. Everyone's going to be pushing for position coming through turn 1. Hopefully it's clean. And turn 2. Down towards turn 3 then, nicking as much of that outfield as possible. Penalties are employed, so you will get penalties if you run yourself too far over the white lines. In some areas you get away with it, some areas you don't. Down this fast section then, all the drivers will be hanging out to the left hand side, trying to hold on to that white side of the track for as long as possible before cutting in to catch that apex. Hopefully not running out too wide. Hirokram putting on a masterclass at the minute. Up the hill then, into these S's. Again, can be tricky these, just got to get them right. Don't want to dip too many wheels off the track here. that final corner and then out into this last little section. You can jump. I'm not sure if you can now with the new game. You used to be able to put 2 wheels either side of that great big yellow curb and gain a little bit of time. Onto one of these faster sections then, over the brow of the hill, firing it down the hill. Look at this, down the hill, absolutely full tilt, hard on the brakes at the 50-metre mark into this cambered hairpin. Oh, just having to watch the throttle on the way out. Didn't want to dip it into the sand. Up the hill then, some very fast S's. This one not too bad. The second runs you out a little bit wide to the left on the exit. Then down towards this double apex right-hander. Again, can be a tricky one. Drivers will be looking to dive up the inside through there if they get a good run through those S's. Just feathering that throttle on the way through those. Through that left-hander, back down the hill then, into this final corner. And then back onto that start-finish straight. Again, absolutely love this track in terms of racing. And there it is, a full lap of Lago Maggiore. Fabuki, he's found his wipers button again. Right, let's have a look then. A couple of laps in. Currently Dylan in the Citroen Spaceship, leading the way at the minute with a 2:04.2. Fabuki. He thinks it's going to rain every week for Buki. Currently in second with a 2:04.3. Him in the Lamborghini. You can see all the drivers linked up with a charity ambulance or what was peaking. What were you? Oh, cancer research. So there is a donation scheme throughout the season. If you want to donate money, you can do. Oh, again, I've not done it. I've not done it, Dennis. Remind me next week. Someone remind me next week to put the link up. You can donate if you go on the MRC page on Facebook. You can donate to the MRC GTTCC fund, and at the end of the season, whoever out of the teams has got the most points, or first, second and third in terms of points, we divvy the money up and send it out to those charities. So there are actually 6 lobbies running tonight, various different charities associated with various different team members running throughout each of these lobbies. Help for Heroes for Mocking Weeks, currently sitting in 5th, 2:05.1 for him. Fat Pickles in the lonely little front wheel drive, 2:05.4 in the Sirocco. Donkey Chong returning champion after a few years, a couple of years out of the saddle, I think. Not a few years, maybe just 1 or 2. But back in the saddle, driving for the SADS Foundation. Faithless Emo, another Lamborghini. SADS as well, also running live tonight at Faithless, so also on YouTube. He'll be racing from this perspective, I can imagine, unless he's, are you a bumper man? I don't know, are you a bumper man or cockpit man? But yeah, you will be able to see Tino's or Faithless Emo's race from his perspective if you fancy going to check that out. Do that after you've watched this. That's what I'm going to ask you to do. 2:05.7 on the board then for Faithless. And P1 Don just throwing himself in the pits, freshening up those tyres. 2:06.6 on the clock for him at the minute. It is still this man currently leading the way. Again, it's been a good championship. We've got 1 more round next week, 2 more races lined up for that one as well. So, personally, I think the stream looks better live than it does in replay, but from what I've watched back of other videos of it, yeah, similar. Should be have a better bit rate and all sorts of stuff like that to try and get that image up, but I've got to do something else. It's still not as crisp as I'd like it to be. I look at other people that stream Gran Turismo, and theirs is all supersonically crisp. It should all be 4K and bliggity bloing, but for some reason it's always got that little bit of pixelation to it. Maybe it's because it's live, I don't know. Maybe it just can't handle the bit rate I'm putting through it, I don't know. Maybe other people record theirs. record it in that 1080 and pump it out in 1080. Like I say, I'm not too sure. Faithless, if you're listening, if you're pumping it out super crisp and clean, then send me whatever settings you're using. I shall steal those gladly. So already 10.5 minutes into qualifying then. Dylan's still on that top spot. Nobody's been able to nudge him out of there yet. Still on that 204.2. He also dips in the pits for a fresh set of tyres. A couple of minutes left of quali then. Still opportunities to get those fastest laps or that pole sit up. Current championship leader then. It's a big amount of points away from everybody else. Don't even know if he races obviously he's racing tonight. If he races next week as well, and even if he comes last in every race next week, and even if he comes last in every race this week, it could be close. He might still take it. Was he 30 points ahead of everyone else? Something daft like that. Where did I put that? Let me have a look. Stole it off of Dennis earlier. Where does it say? 54 points ahead. 54 points. 21 points for a win. So again, even if he comes in last place in both of this week's races and both of next week's races, he could still be on for a championship win here with a great big lead like that. And then I would expect the second and third place drivers in the championship to take those firsts and seconds, etc., to stand any kind of chance. You know, people running down the back of the field at the minute in the championship will stand absolutely no chance, unfortunately. So 12.5 minutes into quali then. Dylan back out on a fresh set of tyres, looking to secure that pole. For Buki, still pushing. Fresh tyres on as well. Still thinks it's going to rain. 204.3 on the clock for him. Oh, Heracram's just come through. 204.1 in the spaceship of a Citroen as well. Pete Gibbs just come through a little bit quicker as well in the Lamborghini. 204.181 for him. So two drivers that have managed to squeeze Dylan down. Here he goes then. That out lap done on those fresh tyres. Now it's time to push. See if he can regain that top spot. He'll be looking for no mistakes on this lap. Faithless also moving up the field a little bit. 204.6 for him. Fat Pickles 6th, 204.7. So everyone finding a little bit more time here, but position's not really changing. 204.9 on the clock for Donkey Chong. Mocking Weeks. Been in the pits, back out, fresh set of tyres. Hot lap now then. This will be his final attempt. He's currently sitting in 8th. Don in 9th in the Aston. 206.0 for him as well. Again, just finding that little bit of extra time at the end of quali. But now it's this man. Can anyone take him off that top spot? P. Gibbs still out. Dylan still out. Where's the next time in line? Oh, we've just missed one. Is it going to be purple? Is it going to be blue-purple? Might mean a faster sector, but it doesn't mean a faster overall time. A blue-purple. It's a purple. He could be on for pole position again then here, Dylan. Fubuki just finds a little bit of time at the end of qualifying. He then sticks himself on pole. what time did you get? 2:03.983 then for Fabuki. Dylan round that final corner. Has he bettered it? Down towards the line then. Bam, there it is. 2:03.897 from Dylan. So, even though Fabuki, the only other driver to get below the 2:03s, gets pushed down into second right at the end of qualifying. Final lap flashed up on screen then. P. Gibb crosses the line, hazards on, that's his qualifying done and dusted. Same for Faithless Emo, Fat Pickles done as well, he's in 6th. Donkey Chong in the pits. Mocking Weeks just crossing the line as well then, stays in 8th. Don stays in 9th. Dylan on that top spot. Fabuki still driving around, as is Hirakram, so still opportunities. Oh no, Hirakram 4 seconds down. Fabuki though, still pushing. Through those S's, we'll get a time in line after this corner. Oh, he's 0.16 down. Doubtful he's going to make that time back up in the next couple of corners. Oh, he's picked himself up half a second penalty, so that one's in the bin anyway. And then Hirakram also with a half a second penalty, so that's this lap in the bin for him as well. So it is going to be Dylan on pole then. Fabuki second, Hirakram third. P. Gibb in 4th, Faithless in 5th, Fat Pickles in 6th, Donkey Chong 7th, Mocking Weeks in 8th, and P1 Don in 9th. That is going to be race order. There they are, official results. Dylan on that top spot then. Fabuki, Hirakram, P. Gibb 92, Faithless Emo, Fat Pickles Bro, Donkey Chong, P1 Mocking Weeks, and poor old lonely P1 Don, all on that page on his own. There it is then. Didn't seem to be the Lambo, did it? One minute till race start then, people. Don't forget to hit those like buttons. Algorithms have changed apparently, so smaller channels are getting more views, so help a brother out. I'm obviously a very small channel. I have watched fresh, brand new, fresh channels with like 23 viewers surpass me up to like 10,000 just by watching videos. Just by watching videos and commenting on them. I could do that, but why would I want to do that? Come on, let me in. Right, here we go then. Race 1 of tonight. 30 minutes here around Lago Maggiore. It's a grid start, as you can see. False starts are on, so if you jump the lights, you will get penalised, but you'll probably have someone crash into the back of you anyway, so let's not do that. Lights go on then. Wait for these to drop, and race 1 is underway. Great start by Dylan. He's got a good pull over Fabuki, as has Hirakram in 3rd. Uses the power of that Citroen to squeeze up the inside through turn 1. Again, everyone just being a little bit cautious through there. The first couple of turns can catch you out. So Dylan then already stretching a gap, 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second over Hirakram. Citroen, Honda NSX, Lamborghini. Got another NSX in 7th. Got the Volkswagen Scirocco in 8th, and the Aston Martin at the back of the field at the minute in 9th. So can Dylan break the toe from Hirakram? Needs just over 0.9 of a second through these S's then. Cutting as much of these turns as possible. Big curve coming up. Bloom, there it is. Onto this real fast section then. Full tilt down the hill. Let's change that. Can't see much in that spaceship cockpit view. There's Hirokram making up a little bit of time on Dylan. Gaining a tiny bit of toe. The battle happening behind as well. There is Faithless Emo having a go at Fubuki for third. Fubuki's still got the inside line coming up the hill though. Faithless has to slot himself in behind. Fubuki under all sorts of pressure here. There's a big pile of Lamborghinis all looking for a way past. Faithless, P-Gib, Donkey Chong. He's just tucked onto the back end of that field as well, as is Fat Pickles. Don's lost a bit of time. He's 1.2 seconds behind, so no toe for him at the minute. He's probably got a cigarette on as well, window wide open. Dylan then does stretch that lead to above a second coming into these last few turns. Hirokram's managed to run himself off circuit somewhere, picked himself up a half a second penalty. And he'll have to lose that early on in the race as well. He'll get overtaken by a few drivers with that half a second penalty. Again, everybody looking for a position around that first two turns. Lamborghini's having a bit of a go of it at the minute between themselves. Faithless almost runs himself off circuit. You've got to be careful he doesn't pick himself up a penalty for that as well. Evening, Mr. Elliott. Evening, brother. P-Gib getting his Lamborghini a little bit sideways, loses some time. Where is he? Where is he? Donkey Chong then gets the power out of that turn. Can he get past P-Gib before this corner? Yes, he does. Sweeps across in front. Yeah, just a little mistake from P-Gib. Just cost him that position. Slowed down as he was on the hunt for Faithless. And it just allowed Donkey Chong through. Rocky Weeks hanging on in there. Fat Pickles now out of the slipstream range, unfortunately. We've got it kicking off again up front. Faithless having a little look. Hirokram losing that penalty. There goes Fubuki past. There goes Faithless Emo past. Hirokram then from second to fourth with that penalty loss. It's kicking off again. Donkey Chong's made up another position. He's got his way past P-Gib. P-Gib now running around the outside of these two turns. Back onto the inside into this corner. And holds onto it. Great bit of racing between these two. Again, Rocky Weeks has managed to hold his own in that Honda, keeping himself bolted onto the back end of the Lamborghinis. Oh, P-Gib going a little bit wide through there. Fat Pickles pulls the gap back on the pile of drivers in front. Don then 2.9 seconds back, falls even further back. Yeah, Mr. Elliott, someone in the chat actually said that the Lamborghinis were a bit OP, and there goes Fubuki back under threat from Faithless. Had a little look up the inside into turn one, maybe looking to put Fubuki off. Set himself up for a different corner maybe. Hirokram now also looking to make his way past. Great big wide car, that Citroen. Plenty of opportunities here for that overtake. P-Gib's managed to get his way past Donkey Chong again. Donkey Chong now back under pressure from Mockin and Fat Pickles. Again, poor old Don just falling a little bit too far back. 2.9 seconds off the field at the minute. And look at this, Dylan stomping away with it then. 2.1 seconds, 5 minutes into race one, 25 minutes left. Fubuki hanging on to second, but as it's just been mentioned, the Lamborghini's looking good here. Oof, just as I say that, Hirokram fires that Citroen right behind Faithless. Faithless dips over to the inside of the circuit. Fubuki doesn't need to worry about going defensive at the minute. Faithless back onto the outside of the track then, looking for the apex coming into, a hairpin. Maybe he doesn't quite get the apex, nowhere to go for Hirokram at the moment though. Keeps himself tucked right to that rear wing of Faithless, looking for a different line through these S's as well. Is he going to make a move down towards this double right-hander at the bottom? Don't think he will. Faithless carrying far too much speed through those S's, but he runs himself deep. Hirakram gets himself up the inside then. And there it is, that little mistake, and Faithless loses that spot, carrying far too much speed into that turn, just not quite able to get it stopped. Hirakram gains that third place, but the gap opens up between himself and Fubuki in second there, so up to 1.1 seconds. Again, the Citroen pretty quick. Has it got the power to close back up on Fubuki though? He's still under threat from Faithless behind him. Dylan loses a little bit of time down to 1.8, but still plenty of gap in front. Don's in the Aston. Don's in the Aston. It certainly will, as and when tyres decide they're going to start giving out. So Donkey Chong and P. Gibb still at it down to the sweeping left-hander back up the hill. Donkey Chong takes that position for the time being. P. Gibb tucks himself back in behind then in 6th. Fat Pickles up into 7th. He's got himself past Mocking Weeks. He must have made a mistake somewhere. Just out of that slipstream range of Fat Pickles at the minute. Don in the Aston, 2.4 seconds down. No, I don't see many people opting for the Aston, to be honest. So Fubuki then, now his mirror's a little bit emptier. He's starting to pile a bit of pressure on Dylan here. 1.5 seconds the gap has come down to. He's still got plenty of breathing room behind as well. Hirakram still 1.2 seconds behind him. Faithless not too far off of him as well, so still something for Hirakram to think about while he's pushing towards Fubuki. Chong, P. Gibb still pretty close together. Fat Pickles keeps himself involved in that fight. Oh, Mocking Weeks just runs himself off track a little bit too deep, picks up half a second penalty. It's going to drop him off the back of those three and put him further into the clutches of P1 Don. Unfortunately, that Aston falling a little bit further back, 3 seconds down now. Oh, Dylan's found himself with a penalty as well. The gap's also down to 0.8 of a second with that mistake. Fubuki will get this position off him, or will be neck and neck with him by the time they come into the corner at the end of the penalty loss zone. Deep through there as well for Dylan. I don't recall seeing the penalty markers. Definitely not on the start-finish straight. Is it on the straight after these S's? Yes, it is. Says slowing down above his car, so you'll see the 2 yellow markers coming up then. There they are. When he hits those, the brakes will be applied for that 0.5 of a second. And that's going to allow Fubuki to close up, running down the hill then. Dylan gets himself over to the inside, but it's not enough. Fubuki carries the speed past him then while Dylan gets his car back up to speed. And the chase is back on. That gives Hirakram a little bit of a look as well, so he's almost back into the slipstream range of Dylan. Faithless Emo still tagged onto the back end of that fight. Still the three-way fight going off here between Donkey Chong, P. Gibb and Fat Pickles as well. Fat Pickles, oh, I thought he was looking for a way past P. Gibb. It was just a bit of a bobble on that curb. Mocking Weeks then loses his penalty. Does fall slightly further towards Don, but not under attack at the minute. Unfortunately, he's now 3.8 seconds off that battle in front, with Fat Pickles, P. Gibb and Donkey Chong. So, race leader now Fubuki. Yeah, Dylan's pretty consistent. Still under threat then. When's Dylan going to make the move? Is it going to be around this next corner down the hill? Going to save it up for somewhere else again. He's just got to be careful that Hirakram doesn't close up behind him. don't get to see much out of this spaceship cockpit. Not going for the move here into this right-hander. Carries the speed though, carries the speed. Both drivers getting good run out of there. Has to tuck himself back into the slipstream coming through the S's. But he's right on the back of it then as we head on to one of the longest straights. So where everyone's been tucking over to the right to defend the inside line. Again, Fubuki not doing it just yet. Here comes the Citroen now then, closing up on Fubuki. Backs out, he doesn't go for the move into the hairpin. Fubuki leaves him a little bit of room coming out of that. He's still going to hold the lead coming into these S's. There is Hirakram still just hanging on, 0.9 of a second. Again, here comes the Citroen closing up on that Honda in front. Nowhere to go for him through this double right-hander though. Straight into the left-hander after this. So again, still nowhere to go. Carrying the speed up and over the hill, down towards this final turn, then on track. Can he get a run down towards turn 1? Top 3 starting to pull away. Here we go then. I think we're going to see the move. There he goes through back into first place for Dylan. Oh, dips a wheel on the grass there. Doesn't compromise him too much, leaves the door closed. Nowhere for Fubuki to go. Unfortunately for the pair of them, that has just allowed Fubuki, not Fubuki, Hirakram in third to close back up on the pair of them. So we'll be getting a damn good tow off of Fubuki running down this particular hill. Close enough to get a move on him though, on board with Hirakram then. Closes up. Back to where we were then when Dylan made the move. Didn't get done through here though. Fubuki was able to carry the speed. On there, starting to show a bit of tyre wear now these cars. Dylan then goes for the inside line. Fubuki carries the speed. He's found a little bit of room at the right hand side of Dylan. He's going to get himself back in front. Again, Dylan's just got to be careful he doesn't leave the door too far open or drive on the sand like that and allow Hirakram to close up on him, which he has done. Look at this then, it's top 3 absolutely bumper to bumper halfway through race 1. Ema unfortunately 3.2 seconds down. Dylan goes a little bit defensive into the double right-hander. Has a little look at Fubuki. 2 Citroens. Almost touching through there. Oh, Dylan runs off track. He's got to be careful, he'll have dirty tyres. Has he got away without a penalty? No, he hasn't. There it is. That's where everyone's picking up the penalties at the end of this circuit. Fubuki runs a little bit wide through there as well. Has he got away with that? Hirakram already making the move on Dylan though to take second. Dylan backs off. He knows it's pointless fighting him. He knows he's going to lose that penalty. He may as well just stick to the back end of Hirakram as much as he can. And now they're still both on the hunt then for Fubuki. 0.8 of a second up the road at the minute. There you go. Let's see how he gets on then. He's not out of the woods yet. He's got just under 15 minutes left. 2 fast boys right behind him at the minute. Faithless Emo doing anything he can to pull himself back towards those top 3. 2.7 seconds down at the minute. Starting to be closed back up then by Donkey Chong in 5th. Fat Pickles has actually managed to make up another position as well. He's up into 6th. Got himself past P. Gibb. Marky Weeks 6 seconds behind P. Gibb in 8th. Don another 4.1 down in 9th, then struggling a little bit at the back. Here we go then. Dylan is going to lose his penalty. See, he's still swerving across the track. He still needs to try and keep any kind of tow. He loses it by the time he comes down to this right-hander. 1.3 seconds down. He's really going to have to push. Buki though, just holding his own up the front, still 0.6 of a second ahead of Hirakram. Decent share of tyre wear across front and rear tyres on that Honda as well. Looking very similar front and rear. A little bit more on the Citroens up front, big heavy car. It's going to push its way around the corners. Not a lot on the rears at the minute. Same for Dylan's Citroen. Donkey Chong in a very similar position. He's got his way past Faithless Emo. But you can see though, having to take a couple of little stabs at these corners now. Tyres allow them to turn in and then give up the grip. So Donkey Chong squeezes his way through into 4th, then Faithless 5th, P. Gibb in 6th. Got his way back past Fat Pickles. Real good fight between these boys. Hopkins still trying to close up, as is P1 Don. It's all about these top 3 at the minute. Can Dylan pull his way back onto those top 2? Oh, Faithless Emo, where are you going? Gets away without a penalty through there. Doesn't lose a bit of time. There you go. Oh, he's off track through there as well. The tyre wear starting to catch him out a little bit. And he loses those positions. Fat Pickles goes through. P. Gibb goes through. Oh, sliding this Lamborghini through these turns now, then Faithless. Big amounts of tyre wear on the front of Faithless's car. Hopkins' tyre's not looking too bad. Don's in a similar setup. A lot of wear at the front, not a lot at the back. Pretty close then. Dylan still 1.3 seconds back. Not been able to close that gap up yet. So as Mr. Elliott's just said in the chat, it could get all a bit wayward about the 20-25 minutes mark. I don't think anyone's going to risk coming in for a set of tyres in these half an hour races. But obviously by the time they hit the latter stages of the race, the tyres will be giving out on most of these corners. We'll see who's been able to keep them fresh or freshest. Is that how Fabuki saves his tyres? Is that how he whispers his tyres? Cheers, Jake. Is that how he saves his tyres? By putting his wipers on, pretends it's raining, and subconsciously, through magic and stuff, it automatically keeps his tyres from wearing out too quick. Maybe, I don't know. Still not managed to find a way past though. The little Honda pretty quick. It's good off the blocks, it's good out of these turns, but the Citroen in 2nd and 3rd, do carry a little bit more top end when they get up to the faster speeds, and they do start closing up on these other cars, but they gain it back up on the acceleration out of the turns. So it's a good battle between these two at the minute. Hirakram not really able to close the gap up on Fabuki. Loses another 10th, then 1.4 seconds down. Gains it back through the hairpin at the bottom of the hill though. As he'll carry a bit more speed, will he, through these couple of turns? No, he's keeping himself at 1.3. So P. Gibb getting these 3. And a real good ding dong all race. P. Gibb then back up into 4th position. Donkey Chong 5th, Fat Pickles in 6th. Up and down the field in this battle, these 3. Faithless was involved for a little bit, but he's had too many mistakes now. A lot of tyre wear on the front of his Lamborghini. He's on falling a little bit further back, 3.4 seconds behind Fat Pickles. Again, just got to be careful he doesn't fall into the hands of Mocking Weeks before the end of the race. Again, Mocking Weeks will have enough to deal with his own tyre wear. Dom's still not looking too bad though, but for Book, he has pulled a bit of time out somewhere. Maybe a mistake from, it's a mistake from Hirakram. So he just falls out of that slipstream range for a minute. Unfortunately, he's allowed Dylan to close the gap up enough for him to be getting a bit of a tow now. It'll bring him back into the fight in a lap or two's time. Is cleanly for Fabuki. Again, tyres looking really good on the Honda. I think driving for Sparkle charity, I believe. Let's just have a... There we go, Sparkle on the back screen. I thought so. 3/4 as well. So again, we do link the teams up to charities, and there is a donations page throughout the season, and at the end of the season the charity with the most points, or team associated to that charity with the most points, we then divvy the money out between the first, second and third place winning teams, and we send them a cheque with some money. Again, all voluntary, it's not a pay-to-play kind of scenario. Oh, Hirakram's found himself with a half a second penalty. He will lose that position to Dylan, unless Dylan makes a mistake in the next few corners. P. Gibbs found himself with a penalty as well up front. It's all changed up front. P. Gibb then pulled a massive great gap over the drivers behind, 2.1 seconds back to Fat Pickles. He's also made up a position past Donkey Chong. Again, I think the tyres are just starting to kick in now. Cause these drivers to struggle around some of these corners. Unfortunately, Mocking Weeks and P1 Don not been able to make any headway back into this race, really. So for Buki then up front now with a 1.4 second lead over Hirakram. Hirakram with that half a second penalty to lose as well. It's coming up to next few corners. We'll see whether Dylan's able to get that position. I'm sure he can, looking at how close he is. So there is the marker above Hirakram's car to tell him you're about to lose a penalty. 2 yellow markers just appeared. Hangs over to the not the racing line, so not get in the way of any kind of racing. But oh, he's trying to get back over. Can he hold the inside line through the hairpin? Has it compromised his line? Dylan gets a good run on him on the way out, but Hirakram holding the line. He'll have the inside line through this next turn. Nothing Dylan can do. Slots his way back into the slipstream then. And now the two Citroens will have a good old ding-dong for the next 6 minutes while they try and close back up on this man. He's now got a 2.6 second lead up front. Jay Elliott looking like he was predicting the future earlier, saying this will be light work for him. Very consistent in terms of lap times as well. 2:04s all the way up until lap 7. A few 2:05s. I think he just put a lap 13, I think, was a 2:04 as well. Back up to a 2:05 on lap 12. We'll see what this one is. Still good lap times there. Same for Hirakram and Dylan. A little bit of yo-yoing where they've picked up those penalties. Oh, a wobble on from Dylan. He has to gather that one up quickly before getting the Citroen backwards. P1 Gibb then safely in 4th at the minute. Fat Pickles in 5th under a bit of pressure from Donkey Chong. There is Faithless also holding a half a second penalty. His front tyres absolutely blown out. 4 minutes left, unfortunately, Faithless. A couple couple more goes round for you. Again, just got to be careful. Mocking Week's tyres still looking reasonably good compared to Faithless. And he is slowly but surely dragging Faithless closer to him. Could still be on for a position change here then, Mocking, if he plays his cards right. Unfortunately, Don 6.4 seconds down. Just not getting on well in that Aston for race 1. Gap opens up again between the two Citroens. A little mistake from Dylan. Opens up those two. 1.1 seconds between them. So he's hoping for a mistake now, Dylan, if he wants to try and get this position back off of Hirakam. For Buki, we just catch him getting the NSX a little bit sideways. He picks himself up half a second penalty. Naughty. He's got 2 seconds lead. It's going to bring them all back together by the last lap. He's really got to push there. 27 minutes into race 1. 2-minute laps. They're going to see another one after this one. Dylan back within tow range now though. 0.7 of a second. Again, coming to the end of the race. Everyone's tyres starting to wear out, so it's going to be an all or nothing Hail Mary down the inside at one of these corners, I think, to try and take any kind of position now. And that's anywhere on track really. Fat Pickles also with a half a second penalty. Donkey Chong might be able to pick that one up. Faithless really struggling, and I can hear that Mocking Weeks is closer, just 2 seconds behind him now. Mocking could still be on for that position swap for these two. Don just chugging away at the round at the back. Right, here we go then for Buki up front with this half a second penalty to lose. Where is that going to put these two? It does work out to be about a full second by the time he gets himself back up to speed. So there's 2.1 seconds lead. Hard on the brakes into the hairpin. Let's just see what kind of gap it is on the way out. It's down to 1.3, so it's 0.8 of a second pretty much he's lost. Still out of that tow range for those two drivers behind. He's just got to keep it like that for one more lap as for Buki. Dylan chasing down the fellow Citroen in front. Current championship leader at the minute, Hirakam. Again, with this position, he's already 54 points ahead of anyone else. Only be for Buki that takes more points than him tonight, for race 1 anyway. Here we go then, last lap. Buki still in the clear. Hirakam second, but under threat from Dylan. Gibb actually not too far behind in his Lamborghini, so whispered his tyres around this track a little bit. It'll be a hard push to try and gain any more positions and try and find that podium step, but you never know. Again, tyres wearing out all throughout the circuit. Fat Pickles up into 5th then in that Volkswagen Sirocco. Penalty loss not enough to allow Donkey Chong to come past, so he's had to stay in 6th for the time being. Faithless Emo 7th. Tyres screaming out for him to pull over. Please, Mocking Weeks still right behind him, 1.4 seconds. Again, options for Mocking Weeks if he can close the gaps. Don, I'm sure, just wishing this one was over. Buki then, in the clear still. Dylan looking for any line he can to try and close the gap, carry the speed, try and close back up on Hirakam. 0.5 of a second behind him as they come over the hill. Nobody messing it up through there for Buki then, out of the hairpin cleanly. Cleanly as well for Buki, keeps it off the curbing, running out of that corner through the double right-hander. good here. He's actually putting in a little bit of time on those two Citroens behind him. Final corner to go then for Fubuki. Great drive from him tonight in race 1. Under pressure. He's happy about that. Swerving across the track. And he does take the win in race 1. Then Hirakram comes home in 2nd. Dylan takes 3rd. P. Gibb comes home in 4th. Fat Pickles will take 5th. Donkey Chong 6th. Faithless yet to be decided. Yeah, I think Faithless has got it. Mocking Weeks won't close the gap up now. Faithless does take 7th, then Mocking Weeks comes home in 8th. Wait for Lonely P1 Don to cross the line, taking 9th. Yeah, again, got to give it to Fubuki. He was under pressure from those Citroens, but just seemed like his car and his driving style worked here tonight at Lago Maggiore. So there he is on that top spot for race 1. Unfortunately for him, that puts him at the back of the pack for race 2. That's how it is. Reverse grid for race 2. Official results then. There he is. Fubuki on that top step. I nearly said spot. Top step in the NSX. Hirakram in 2nd. Dylan in 3rd. Then in those two Citroens. P. Gibb in 4th in the Huracan. Fat Pickles in 5th in the Sirocco. Donkey Chong in another Huracan in 6th. Faithless in a Huracan in 7th. Mocking Weeks in 8th in another NSX. And Don in that V8 Vantage Aston Martin. Again, just not getting on well with Lago Maggiore in that car tonight. What? Start at 22:02. That's 10 minutes of me waffling. Mocking, what are you doing to me? I don't mind a bit of a waffle, but I've got to have something to waffle about. I also need someone in the chat to waffle back so I can waffle more. There you go, Faithless Emo just coming in there. 10 minutes? What? Someone needs to poop. Maybe. Yeah, P. Gibb just saying when he managed to get away from the actual battles, the Lamborghini working out all right. So, yeah, must be a bit overpowered, maybe. So we're going to jump into race 2 again. We've been told, well, it's now 9 minutes because I've managed to waffle for a minute. They do all have to use a different car, so they have to pick these cars at the start of the season. They're not allowed to swap them at any point. If you do, I think you get one race to decide that you hate this car. You know, one evenings of racing. If you hate that car, you do get an option to change it, but I think you lose half your points that you've earned so far, or something. I can't remember the rules exactly. But yeah, you're supposed to pick your cars at the start of the season, and you have to also decide which car you're using for race 1 every week and which car you're using for race 2 every week. Again, there's no swapping those over. Once you've decided you're using the Lamborghini, let's say, for race 1, that's the car you have to use for race 1 every week. And then whichever the second car you've chosen, that has to be your race 2 car every week. No swapping those over. So it does take a bit of working out. It takes a bit of, you know, getting yourself out on track, figuring out which cars you actually like to drive, and then having a couple of practice laps on the tracks you're going to race. Try and figure out which car's going to work at which circuit. And, you know, they don't all work everywhere. Some cars are faster at some circuits. It depends if it's a power track or a, you know, a top speed track or a short snappy corners track. Alsace is a bit of a short snappy corners track, as you can see from the map on screen. There's all sorts of little off camber sections on this one as well. Can catch the drivers out. Some tight hairpins running up and over hills and down into hills. So they are just going to have to watch themselves around some of these turns. So let's get ourselves on track and have a look at the choice of car for race 2 then. There's Faithless Emo, Lamborghini in race 1. He's now in the GR86, is that what it's called now? I don't know what you call it now. That Toyota thing, I'm sure it's a GR46 or 86. Come on, someone in the chat tell me I'm wrong. It's an 86, isn't it? I don't know where I got 46 from. What's just changed? Don't know, but Mockins had to go in and change a little bit of a setting somewhere. Okay, so we're back out in an Aston for Dylan in race 2. Let's get a quick look at the livery on this one. Cause light air ambulance still smashed on the bonnet and the A-pillar there, good to see. Faithless Emo in that same livery from the Lamborghini. Ooh. Playing bumper cars at the minute in this little practice session. Another Cause light racing in the Jag. Here it comes, race 2 choice then. Dylan we've looked at. Don in the, is that Don or Fubuki? That's Don, yeah, I thought it was. In the anime liveried Ferrari. Corvette of Fubuki. See how he gets on from the back of the pack in this. This might not be the choice of car for this track. Rear wheel drive, big heavy rear end as well. It'll want to spin itself up coming out of some of these turns, but we'll see how Fubuki gets on. Again, he'll start from the back of the pack for race 2. P. Gibb then in one of the McLarens for race 2 as well. Donkey Chong, also Jaguar for race 2. Mocking Weeks in his Mazda, and Fat Pickles rolling around in the Bugatti Veyron for race 2. Well, we did a lap in the first race with him, so we'll do a lap on board with Hirakram for the second race as well, shall we? Let's put the nonsense on quickly. So across the line then towards turn 1, sweeps uphill. Again, pretty flat corner that one, easy to run it out wide if you carry a bit too much speed. These little undulating hills then. And peeling left and back down the hill towards the first of the hairpins. Turn 1's really a hairpin. Nice catch at the bottom. Oh, slides it into that one. Back out of it through the left-hander. Again, you can see it's just trying to tip you and push you out wide this corner. Exactly what it's doing. Look, all the way out to that right-hand side. 90-degree right coming up. Again, tricky one. You can carry a fair bit of speed through that though if you can catch that dip just there. When the tyres wear out, that dip can be the death of you. Through the little right-hander there as well. Kink on the way through that one. Over the brow of the hill. Again, this corner just wants to push you out wide to the right-hand side. Through the long, sweeping, banked right-hander. All the way at the top of that one for Hirakram. Through the little S's then down towards, there's the penalty zone, down towards the left-hander into the next hairpin. Hard on the brakes coming through that left, getting it stopped before this hairpin. Back on the throttle, through this left-hander up the hill, over the brow. Towards these last couple of corners, gets really tight at the bottom of the hill here, as you'll see. Just through these next couple of corners, just bam, just gets so tight through here. Everybody looking for that inside line, just trying to avoid smashing into that black and white wall on the outside, and then back across the line then for Hirakram. And that is a lap of Alsace. A little bit glitchy from Hirakram. So So reverse grid as of results of race 1. And I have managed to waffle for nearly 10 minutes. Amazing. Fubuki then, winner of race 1. He'll start from the back. Fat Pickles out on track then in that great big Bugatti Veyron. What a beastly looking car that is. Just sounds different as well, doesn't it? So, just flicking through the field there to have a look at tyre choices in the bottom left hand part of your screen. Everybody's opted for softs, I think. Yeah, except Mocking Weeks. Oh, he's got, sneaky, 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 sneaky. Do you see what he's done there? Do you see what he's done? Mocking Weeks might have been the only man to think about it, and that's why we've not seen him out on track, because you can exit the lobby, come back in and get your tyres set up. So he had mediums on the front and softs on the rear, so hopefully his tyres will last for the whole race. We're going to see P1 Don leaders out for race 2 though in the multicoloured anime Ferrari. Lights go on then, another half an hour race here at Alsace Village. Oh, it's a false start from Faithless. Driver's peeling round, trying to get past him then. He's trying to stay out of the way as well, all the way to the back of the field from Faithless. What a shame, false start from him. Back up front then, Don holds on to the lead through turn 1. Fat Pickles, where are you going? That wasn't the line through turn 1. Falls off the back of the field then, 1.5 seconds back at the minute for Fat Pickles. Already got his work cut out. Don then leading the way in that Ferrari. Donkey Chong into second place in the Jag. Mocking Weeks in that Mazda, pushing him around that corner. Again on that what's called the mullet setup. So he's gone for the, what we like to call the mullet setup. He's gone for mediums on the front and softs on the rear. He's under pressure though from Hirokram. So he might get swamped a little bit at the start, while the mediums obviously aren't going to be running as quick as the softs. But later in the race, no, there's P-Gib off track as well in the background. Later on in the race, those mediums will still have loads of life left in them, whereas the fronts on everybody else's car will be absolutely blown out. Mocking Weeks might be able to make something of it, but we'll see how he gets on. So it is Don then, stomping away at the minute, full second ahead of Donkey Chong. Mocking Weeks still hanging on to that third position. Hirokram looking for a move up the inside though. Pushing down towards this hairpin. It's not where you want to be getting tangled up with each other really. Oh, the inside though, no, Faithless. I don't know if there was contact or whether it was just far too much braking coming into that corner. He's ended up spinning the Toyota backwards coming into that hairpin, ends up all the way at the back of the pack, 3 seconds behind Fat Pickles. Again, tricky circuit here at Alsace. Don then hard on the brakes into these last couple of corners. Keeps it out of the wall, as does Donkey Chong. So Hirokram's got himself past Mocking Weeks cleanly now. P1 Dylan having a look up the inside of Mocking Weeks into turn 1 as well. Leaves the door open, Dylan goes through. Fubuki carrying the speed in the Corvette as well, trying to chase down Mocking in that Mazda. So again, not looking good for Mocking at the minute, but he's on that different tyre strategy. It might all come to play into his hands around the halfway mark. We'll see. P-Gib then getting the McLaren a little bit wayward. Fat Pickles running himself off circuit. And Faithless Emo getting his car backwards. 20, what have you done, Faithless? Why are you 21.5 seconds down? Must have spun it off track somewhere else maybe that we didn't see. Don still leads then, not out of the slipstream range of Donkey Chong. Hirakram comes from pretty much the back of the pack into third position. Dylan in fourth. Mocking Weeks holding on to fifth for the time being. Fubuki still looking for a way past him in sixth. On this battle, we might see Fubuki have a look into this hairpin where we saw Hirakram make the move. Mocking Weeks keeps himself right in the correct position, goes a little bit wide on the exit. Fubuki might get the run and then down towards this next corner, but Mocking Weeks has got the inside line into that one. Oh, I think there was a tiny bit of contact. Fubuki's still able to carry the speed through though. He's again got the inside line coming into this next corner for Buki. Weeks dabs a little bit of brake on just to settle himself back in behind for Buki. Now P. Gibb having a little look at him coming down the start finish straight again. It's not looking too good for Mocking Weeks in terms of positions at the minute, but his tyre strategy might all pay off come the end of the race. What can Faithless Emo do? 23.7 seconds down. Kicking off for second then. Hirakram having a look at Donkey Chong. He's got the inside line coming into this next corner. Jaguar versus Jaguar. Not teammates either, these two. Different teams, different charities they're linked to. What can Hirakram do then? Can he chase down Don in front? Again, fast driver Hirakram, already taken multiple wins this season. Mr. March, evening mate, evening. No worries, no worries. You can always watch the whole thing again tomorrow, can't you? Or later. Dylan then in that Aston. A little bit of a gap from Fubuki. Fubuki has managed to get his way past Mocking Weeks now. P. Gibb now looking for a way past. So again, everybody else out on circuit on the soft tyre except this man, Mocking Weeks. The little graphic in the bottom left hand side of your screen, you'll see he's got mediums on the front and softs on the rear. So he'll be running, look, you see, he's running a little bit slower than the drivers with the fast tyres on because the car won't hook up, it won't stop as quickly, etc. But later on in the race, when all these drivers are screaming out for fresh tyres because they've absolutely battered them for the last 20-25 minutes, Mocking Weeks fronts will still be looking pretty fresh and brand new. And that's when the little Mazda might come into its own. Under a bit of pressure now from Fat Pickles, also on that soft setup. Look at the banner on his windscreen. Bosh. That's me, that is. Faithless then, oh, he's even further back in that GT86. He loses another, oh no, he's off track through there as well. Oh no, Faithless, what an absolute drama he's having. Oh, if anyone's watching his live stream, I'm sure they're absolutely swearing. He's absolutely going mental in his cockpit right about now. Matty W, welcome to the channel, my friend. I'm assuming Mr. March has kind of sent you over, has he? Oof, a little wobble there for Faithless as well, coming out into the start-finish straight. And look at this, Hirakram. We've missed the race for the lead while we were watching Faithless Emo get his GT86 backwards. Hirakram then, from the back of the pack all the way to the front. Yeah, and you know, Faithless is he's a very, very good, fast driver most of the time. This is what's called the Fusion lobby, so this is basically the Premier League of the whole race. There are 6 lobbies open tonight, 9 drivers in this one. Again, we've got a couple of people on holiday and that dipped out early on in the season, and majority lobbies should have about 10 or 12 drivers in. So yeah, there's a good 60 odd drivers racing this championship. Again, all linked to a charity. Let me just jump on board with Hirakram Race Leader. So you'll see on the front of his car, air ambulance bolted on the front. All the other cars have got some kind of charity associated with them as well. And at the end of the season, whichever team has taken the most points, the first, second and thirds, we divvy the prize money up, you know, the donations, and we send that out to the charities. why they're all linked. So Don trying to hang on to the rear end of Hirakram. Again, fast driver Hirakram. Donkey Chong, a bit lonely at the minute in third. Dylan under pressure in fourth. He's got Fubuki hunting him down, as is P. Gibb. Fat Pickles has worked his way past into seventh, and again Mocky Weeks just waiting for those medium tyres to come into their own later on in the race. Oh, faithless. Look at the amount of tyre wear on that thing already. Look at it. Faithless will have been wanting some medium tyres on the front of that. We're not even 10 minutes in and they are pretty worn out already. Admittedly, he's been backwards a couple of times, so they've skidded around track in ways they shouldn't. Look at these two though, stomping away with it in the minute. 1.1 second lead for Hirakram, and Don's got another 2.6 seconds ahead of Donkey Chong. Chong in third. Still a pretty big gap back to this battle here in fourth. Fubuki has managed to get his way past Dylan into fourth, then Dylan fifth, P. Gibb sixth. Oh, Fat Pickles dips a wheel on the grass through there. Keeps it pointing in a straight line though, just before this banked right-hander. And again, Mocking Weeks just waiting for these mediums to hook up. Dude, you don't know half the names. Some of the names have had to be changed to protect the innocent. Oh no, we catch Faithless backwards again. Oh my god, oh Faithless, oh my days. He's going to be absolutely spitting bullets. He had a couple of misfortunes as well in last week's race as well. Not a bad little fight. It is starting to open up a little bit. Let's get ourselves on board with Dylan then. Can he work his way back past Fubuki? There's P. Gibb just in the rear view mirror. Closes up then over the hill. He's got a little left-hander down towards a hairpin. He's going for the move, but that does keep Fubuki on the inside coming into the hairpin. If he can hold his nerve coming around the corner. Dylan's had to leave him room. Oh, and he does just squeeze himself in front. Oof. Bumper to bumper between these two. And they are still both closing up on Donkey Chong in front. There he is. And that black Jag through the right-hander. Great big kick on the way through there. Look at them all over the back end of the Jag then. Cars getting thrown all over the place through these kinks and bumps. Donkey Chong chops across the nose of Fubuki. Runs it a little bit wide on the exit. Has he managed to keep it in a straight line? I can't see him. He's not gone spinning past us, so I assume he has. There he is, Donkey Chong then. He's gone a little bit deep through there. Fubuki's making the move up the inside. Dylan will have a slipstream off either of these two. Oh, Donkey Chong just carries a little bit of extra speed out of that turn. Down into this hairpin. P. Gibb bolted back onto the rear end of this fight. There's Fat Pickles just in the background as well. Still kicking off here for third. Donkey Chong and Fubuki. Drag race then down to the last couple of corners. Donkey Chong will have the inside line coming into the final turn. Dylan thought about sweeping up the inside then, but he would have had to absolutely hang on the brakes coming into this turn. And there it is, Fubuki slots his way through. Oh, Dylan just jabs a big foot of throttle coming out of that last turn. Gets himself up the inside of Donkey Chong. 2 positions lost there for Donkey Chong in as many corners. And P. Gibb all over the back of him. He has a look into turn 1. Also gets up the inside. Come on, cameras, keep up. P. Gibb then into 5th. Donkey Chong loses 3 positions in 3 corners. Let's get ourselves back up front then. Hirakram then still leading 1.9 seconds. Found a little bit of time over P1 Don. He's doing alright in that Ferrari at the minute. Didn't get on very well in race 1. The Aston Martin not liking Lago Maggiore for some reason, but seems to be getting all alright in the Ferrari here tonight. Still not quite out of touch with Hirakram either. It's only going to take a slight mistake from him for Dom to be able to close that gap back up. But the gap back... Oh, Fubuki, where are you going? Fubuki, yep. He'll have dirty tyres for the next couple of corners as well, so he's just got to be careful he doesn't end up throwing himself off circuit. Yeah, good five-way battle. Fubuki then having to go defensive. You can see him have a little wobble through that turn, but the dirty tyres, he's pushed him out wide there as well. Still got a little bit of grit. Off track he goes. Just trying to defend a little bit too hard then for Fubuki. Unfortunately, took the win in race 1 as well in the Honda NSX. Just went a little bit too defensive there. You can see he's got a little bit of front end damage on the graphic at the bottom left as well. That will repair itself. But for the time being, he runs a little bit slower than everybody else. Mocking Weeks then, sitting in 8th. Mocking, what have you done? Mocking's been in the pits. He's changed his tyres. That's his strategy, gone and done. Faithless Emo's also been in for a fresh set as well. Nobody else in yet, I don't think. Hirakram stays out 2 seconds ahead of P1 Dom still. Plenty of life left in these. Okay, Donkey Chong, Fat Pickles both in the pits as well. Everybody opting for tyres then at Alsace. Nobody coming in the pits during the first race at Lago Maggiore. Dylan stays out in 3rd. Then P. Gibb into 4th. Again, Donkey Chong and Fat Pickles both entered the pits. Fubuki stays out as well in 5th. And these two neck and neck as they exit the pits, both on fresh tyres as well. It's going to be an absolute drag race. Donkey Chong leaves him enough room. Fat Pickles, oh, gets a little bit squirrely on the exit there. I think Fat Pickles just ran a little bit too deep on the exit, but peels back over, allows Donkey Chong the room to get back on track and gives him that position back. We don't like crashing people off track and taking positions. And if you do, we expect you to slow down, even if it means you end up at the back of the pack. It doesn't matter. We want fair racing. If you knock somebody off, you damn well wait for them to get back on track, and you wait for them to take that position back off of you. Again, doesn't matter if you're 20 seconds behind the rest of the field now. It just promotes a lot of cleaner driving. Again, if you go in this sort of actual PlayStation stuff, the online stuff, you'll just get sent, because you're racing with people that don't know you, don't care about you, and they just want the win, you know. Whereas these boys, they chat to each other. They're all probably in a lobby chat as well, calling each other names and God knows what, and unrepeatable things on this channel. That race is broken up now with the departure of drivers into the pits, but if everybody else comes in the pits, that race might all come back together. Top 2 not entered the pits. 3rd and 4th decided to stay out as well now. Fubuki stops out as well. Donkey Chong been in, as has Fat Pickles. These two just opened up the gap a little bit, a second between them. Mocking Weeks has been in for a fresh set as well. His mullet set up with the mediums on front wasn't going to work out for him, I don't think. And Faithless Emo, unfortunately, has had that car backwards several times here at Alsace. Again, it's a tricky circuit. There's a lot of off-camber corners, a lot of sort of over-the-brow kind of corners like these that just lighten the car, don't give it the grip when you come through. Unfortunately, the result is you end up backwards here. It's well, many of these circuits you end up backwards. So Hirakram leading in the Jag. He's opened the gap up between himself and Dom. That's up to 3 seconds. Again, current championship leader at the minute, Hirakram. Dom doing alright in that Ferrari. What have we got? Just under 13 minutes left. Tyres not looking too bad. They will be absolutely destroyed if they don't come in the pits by the end of the race. It'll cost them a mistake or two. So Dylan holding on to 3rd. Still under a bit of pressure from P. Gibb in that 4th position in the McLaren. Closing up down towards the hairpin, had a little look up the inside into that one. Dylan tucks himself over to the inside line, goes defensive. And again, they always end up neck and neck here, but Dylan will hold the inside line through this next turn. board with P. Gibb then as he chases down Dylan. Not going to go for it into that corner. Wants a good drive out of this next one. Try and make the move into turn 1. Dylan gets a great drive out of there, though. He's already pulled a little bit of a gap from P. Gibb. That's the opportunity gone into turn 1. Again, these drivers don't stop for tyres. Which is going to work out, the drivers that have stopped, or which strategy? The drivers that have stopped or the drivers that haven't? Tyres still looking good with just about 11 minutes left of the race. Everybody will be hoping that the drivers up front specifically will be having some backwards action at some point with their worn out tyres. Up front opens up the gap again. We just come to him pretty much on the same part of the circuit. He's made another 1.5 seconds over Don. These two falling back a little bit, Dylan and P. Gibb. Fabuki not been able to close that gap up either in the Corvette. Donkey Chong and Fat Pickles have swapped positions though. Fat Pickles back up into 6th in that Bugatti. Donkey Chong with his work cut out, then sliding the Jag into that corner. He's 2.2 seconds back from Fat Pickles. That race currently in the bin. And again, Mocking Weeks. Oh, look at that. Look at the wear on those softs already. He's only come in a few laps ago. They're already screaming out with the amount of tyre wear on them. But he did try the medium option for the start of the race, and it just wasn't working out. And again, Faithless Emo has been backwards a few times tonight here at Alsace, so he's at 1:16 down after a pit stop as well. He won't be happy with tonight's racing. He'll be alright, he'll be reasonably happy with race 1, I can imagine. Didn't have the best result in the end, but it was good racing. Hiragram then stretches that gap open to almost 5 seconds. Just drop under that 10-minute mark for race 2. Dom then hanging on to 2nd position, still under no threat from behind. He's got no chance really of chasing down or catching Hiragram now. The boy in front is just too quick. Oh, P. Gibb, we've missed the move. P. Gibbs managed to sneak that little McLaren past the Aston up into 3rd then. Tyres on the front of the Aston absolutely battered. Look at the front tyres on P. Gibbs. The little red dots nowhere near as big as Dylan's on that Aston. And again, Fabuki's tyres looking better than his as well. He should be able to close that gap up slowly but surely. Fat Pickles with a fresh set of tyres on as well. We'll see how he does. But they are slowly running out of time, running out of laps. Mockin's just going to have to settle for 8th, I think. Faithless is nearly half a lap behind him, so unless Mocking Weeks decides to park up and roll himself a cigarette or something, I think he'll be safe for 8th. Just making it look easy, really. Hiragram all season, he's taken fastest laps, he's taken pole positions, he's had 1st place, he's come from the back of the pack to take 1st. He's just quick all over, and it doesn't matter what car you put him in. I've covered him in all sorts of different lobbies, and he's quick whatever you put him in. He loses a little time to P1 Don, but again, nothing for him to be overly concerned about. Now the gap is opening up between P. Gibb and Dylan, and it is closing between Dylan and Fabuki, 2.6 seconds behind him at the minute. And there is Fat Pickles, possibly closing that gap. What was he? 4.4 seconds behind Fabuki. Can he close that gap up? He's managed to get his way past Donkey Chong anyway. Mocking Weeks has come back in the pits again. Oh, strategies all going in the bin for Mocking Weeks. He had a set of mediums on the front for the start of the race. He's had a second set of softs on, and he's had to go for another set of softs. Look, does keep him out way in front of Faithless Emo. He's still half a lap behind him. Yeah, again, Hirokram just making it look easy here. It's pretty much a masterclass. Even with the worn tyres, he just puts it in all the right places. Knows he's got to back off coming into some of these corners. Knows he can't accelerate coming out of the corners quite so much. You won't see, well, you don't very often see Hirokram getting the car loose. This is where he bins it, isn't it? Puts it in the wall. Commentator's curse. Yellow flag. No, I know what that means. It means this man's just got himself back up to speed because he spun it off track and crashed it in the wall again. Faithless Emo. He's doing the right thing though. He pulls over. He knows he's not in a battle with Hirokram. Well, he's in a battle with nobody at the minute, unfortunately, Faithless. So he just peels over to the outside of the circuit. Allows Hirokram to come through cleanly. He'll do that for any other drivers coming past him as well. But he won't be happy with tonight's race here at Alsace, will Faithless. Poor Toyota's tried to kill him about 6 times already tonight. So 5 minutes left of race 2 here. Hirokram leads then 5.8 seconds currently over P1 Don. Still got a great big gap now between himself and P Gibb, 5.7 seconds. Actually, that gap's coming down. It was 7 seconds. So P Gibb, those tyres, still got a little bit of life left in them. He's able to find a bit of time on the chase for Don. Again, it's a little bit too late maybe. 5 minutes left, just under 5 minutes with nearly 6 seconds to try and close up on him. He'll be hoping for a mistake here. P1 Dylan, there we go. His tyre's absolutely blown out now. Fubuki all over the back of him. Still got to be careful, both drivers. Fubuki's tyre's not 100% obviously, so if he pushes a little bit too much to try and get the position off of Dylan, we could see this shiny silver Corvette get in backwards as well. And again, Fat Pickles closing up on the pair of them. Donkey Chong, unfortunately, he's not been able to put those soft tyres to good use for the second stint. He falls a little bit further back from Fat Pickles. Oh, catch Mocking Weeks off track. And there is poor old Faithless Emo. Met a fair few of these drivers in person. We do sometimes hook up and go go-karting. Sometimes there's 20, 30 of us. We also sometimes go to Donington Park and things like that, watch a bit of racing, or Silverstone, or Brands Hatch. A few of the lads have just been over to hook up with the Dutch contingent. Again, oh, Dylan is in the pits this lap. Yeah, again, there's drivers from all over the world that race in these things, time dependent. Obviously, we actually have drivers from Australia that wake up at the absolute crack of dawn, come and race, and then go to work. And again, we've got Dutch, we've got not many Italian, Spanish or French really, but a lot of Dutch in these lobbies, a couple of Germans, 1 or 2 Australians. But yeah, we sometimes all get together. Like I say, some of the boys from the P1 stables all went over to Holland over the weekend to watch the Formula 1. Met up with the Dutch guys over there, and you know, you can imagine the shenanigans. So 2.5 minutes left then. Hirokram under absolutely no threat now. 7.5 seconds up the road from Don. He's still clear of P Gibb. Fubuki has made his way past Fat Pickles. Oof. And Donkey Chong. It's on a stomp then at the end then for Fubuki. Fat Pickles has made a little mistake himself though, so falls back a little bit closer to Donkey Chong, but slowly but surely running out of minutes. 2 minutes left on the race timer. Dylan back out, fresh tyres. Is he just looking for fastest lap now? Super Leggera car because he's run out of fuel, and fresh set of boots on to try and put that fastest lap in. No problem, Matty W. Thank you for stopping in, and you know, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't, tell your mates and tell your mums. That's all I ask. Oof. Hirakram just in the picture there, almost off circuit. Tyres just catching him out a little bit on this. Oh, is it going to be a final lap? Yes, it is. I think this is going to be final lap. It is. A minute left on track. Tyre wear just starting to kick in for Hirakram then in terms of control. You know, he's got as much tyre wear as some of the other drivers. He just seems to manage it a little bit better. Any other battles happening on track on this final lap? Not at the minute. Everybody pretty far apart. Donkey Chong actually getting a little bit closer to Fat Pickles. Again, just running out of corners here. So look at this. Since we've seen Faithless Emo spin it backwards and get overtaken and lapped by Hirakram, he's managed to keep it pointing in a straight line. Just needed that fatter driver. Hirakram then down towards this hairpin, hard on the brakes, still being hunted by Faithless. Again, not for any kind of position, just more for giggles at the minute. Up the hill then for Hirakram. We are over that 30-minute mark. The final lap flashes up on screen. Couple corners to go then for Hirakram, and he does take another win in this series. To these last couple of corners then, trying to keep it out of the wall on the exit of this one, and does so down towards the line. It's another great win from Hirakram. Again, just nobody seems to have the pace for him. Faithless Emo's decided to chuck himself in the pits for the final straight. Dom then comes across the line. He takes second, again pretty comfortably in the end. Nobody piling the pressure on him. He led for a few laps as well. P. Gibb tried his hardest once he got out of the melee in the middle, trying to close up that gap on P1 Dom, but it was a little bit too late for him. Fabuki does finally take fourth. He took the win in race one as well. Fat Pickles comes home in fifth. Little mistake at the end then, almost cost him that position. Donkey Chong was closing up on him. Dylan threw his chances away really. He blew his tyres out quite early on, had to stop. He just had to stop. He was losing positions. Unfortunately, that lost him a couple more positions. Mocking Weeks then, again his strategy decided to absolutely ruin his race this week. He ends up being 7th, but he's not had quite as tough a night as that man, Faithless Emo. That little Toyota's had him backwards about 5 or 6 times tonight, probably more than that. And there it is, round 6 of the GTTCC, done and dusted. Final round next week. Give me a second. I can tell you where that is. I should have all this stuff up and ready, shouldn't I? I should think about it a little bit more. But you know, it is what it is. That's what I want. I want that. Then I want. No, I don't want that. I want that. Boop, 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 boop. Still, wait a minute. Hold on. Where's that gone? Have I missed it? Boop, 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 boop. I've lost it. But we have got another round next week. 2 more races. I couldn't tell you where they are because I can't find the link to the spreadsheet. But yeah, some great racing tonight in this lobby. Some really good close racing throughout both races, in fact. And yeah, I will see you lot 9 o'clock on Sunday night, back for the next round of the P1 boys and the Renault Megane Trophy League. So that's 9 o'clock on Sunday, and hopefully this is, you can't see this obviously because I've got no camera. I've got everything crossed that we get the Mini Martini League up and running this week. We've had a bit of a delay. Settings were all wrong week one. I think a few of the drivers had forgotten about it, so they didn't turn up either. We tried to race it, but unfortunately some cars were a lot faster than others on the straights and stuff, so lobby settings weren't quite right. So we ditched out of it. We've rejigged lobby settings. Hopefully it's all right for Monday, and yeah, so that's what we've got coming up at the minute. Sunday night at 9 o'clock, Monday night at 8:30, and then the final round of the GTTCC next week at 9 o'clock as well. Nothing else on the cards as is at the minute. There might be something coming up, but I've not had any word back from those guys yet, so some kind of banger racing. So keep your ears to the ground for that. That should be chaos. I'm hoping it's absolute chaos banger racing, where they are actually smashing into each other and trying to take each other out. Otherwise, what's the point in calling it a banger race? But yeah, that is going to be it from me tonight, people. I hope you've all liked what you've watched. If you have, make sure you click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, please. Or just trying to push that channel up to that 1,000 subscribers mark, and then I'll be asking you to just watch videos and try and get me up to the 4,000 hours watch time, and then I can earn about 10 pence a month from you lot watching. Yay, retirement and stuff. Yep, that's going to be it from me tonight, people. Again, so like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.